the hell was I doing here? I think I just created my aluminum scrap chain. I might even have... No, wait. That doesn't make any sense. Oops. That one. Load from save. I said load from save. Everybody loves it. Glorious. I won't give in. I won't give in till I'm victorious. Yes. Okay, so then I built those two refineries. And I think I'm not pumping the coal into them yet. Wait, what? Oh, that's the aluminum that is coming out that way. That's part that I don't have is that I need to find a way to get the coal into this. I could just wrap it around the building. That could work. I feel like I almost have to put the belt next to this one. This has to be right. It's actually perfect. I feel like every single time it does the same thing. It still works. There we go. Now, I feel like I could hop it up and over and continue it around. I could try and thread it in this way. Whatever. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Oh. Oh, yeah. So in order to do that, and then here, I would have to send it this way. Oh, that's not it at all. Be that way. this one. Let's add this way. What? Oh, God. I can't undo. Let's go. Ooh. Oh, no. Let's go to there. This is a bit of a problem. That's so stupid. What? Oh no, that would have clipped hard. I could bring it up. Okay, yeah. Let's rethink this. We'll bring it that way, and I can probably get that right there. This, oh, it's a bit. That was pretty much a pain in the ass. That's fine. Now I need silica. I haven't set up the silica producers yet. I think I need all 600 of it. 8 foundries. I need 11 constructors and 8 foundries. And I'm going to have to reverse that and send it this way. The foundry should be first. I got to feed in from here. Oh. Yeah. So I can bring the scrap and the silica up this way. How am I going to get the silica out of there? Could rotate that and elevator it up. I could reverse the entire thing. It's not helping. All right. 11 constructors. I think I do need this to come up this way. So I'm just going to put some space here. So it's 11. I'll need... Need better control. That's a bit much. And I just need one of these. Why would it make that backwards? You can tell it's facing the wrong direction. That's correct. That's the 11. This last one needs to be putting out 1/3. 2/3. Doesn't make sense at all. It's the wrong recipe, of course. Silica. This one would be 25. We're laughing. Okay. Going that way. I'm going to need the scrap to go this way, too. I do. I'm making silica and aluminum scrap, but this should be silica. No. This should be silica. If it were so connected. $37.5 is $375. 400? Yes. Another 200 silica. Get silica out of here. Add that on a Mark V belt. Starting to wonder if I could stick one of those rack things. This thing. Up on top. Oh, I totally can, can't I? Oh, I'm bringing that up. What are you making? 50 times 4. 2. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. All right. Fine. It's just producing 200. Be here. Be there. That direction. Ah. You pray. What? Oh, I have to reverse that entire thing? Oh, hell. So this is. Basically completely changed the direction of this. My noodles fried. I'm gonna watch some TV. I've been needing to relax. Just that afterwards. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's awful. This stuff out of the way. 48 cooling. I think I've done most of this. Just did that. And I was trying to find a way to feed the 200 silica back into these foundries. Pretty sure I've done this as well. Instructors. Don't think I have the heat sink. Haven't done the rubber yet. Let's see. So that's my 11 silica. And I have that pointing in the right direction. There's something I needed. Right. The output from this is silica, right? Yes. But they're not outputting onto the belt because all of these need to be refined. 50 silica. No. Roll in, we'll have the silica coming this way. And then once I come off the end here, I think I can... This should be making aluminum scrap. Why is this going in the wrong direction? I must have been pretty tipsy. Picked up this. A bunch on that one. What? Oh, the belt is going in the wrong direction. They've got a bug in here somewhere. Like, what the hell? Why is it doing that? Okay, so that's the aluminum scrap. So the aluminum scrap has to go to a bunch of foundries. And what I'll do is I'll bring this off of here and piggyback it on top of this. So what I could do here is to get the angle right on this. Put it. Off the hologram. Oh. Curve looks so much more graceful. I think I know why they added that. Care if this is straight, because it's just going to screw me over anyway. All right, that's the silica, but it's not all of the silica. How much am I producing here? 200, right? And then what I need is 16 found 8 foundries. I have 600. I'll merge them onto one belt. I could, in theory, merge it anywhere. So if I make this belt fat enough, I could just merge it into that. Or I can bring it back this way and then tie it into this hole here using an elevator. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's rethink. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6. 6 I'm not going to want to do that. Probably. That's... If I want it there... I can do it here. Two, three. Here I would have... Bet you they don't line up because, you know... Okay, yeah, there we go. You attach there. Let's see what our options look like. I don't like that. That'll work. It's a bit too flowy for my liking, but... What in the name of... That would have been an interesting monkey wrench to try and sort out. Oh. So then this belt needs to be able to handle 600. Huh. Alright, so then I guess I could put the, these I'm putting. Oh. Am I not making aluminum sheets? How have I screwed this up? You're trying to get aluminum ingots. Oh, oh. Oh, that's not good. So, yeah, the aluminum ingots, I guess, are, they're gonna... I could bring it in this way and pipe it over this belt. You're making... This is my heatsink production. So this should be... What? Yeah, so I got this a little backwards. This a tiny bit backwards. But the bottom line is the ingots that I'm producing are going to have to go in this way. But I'm producing the ingots here. Is there a better way to do it? Almost definitely. Well, if I bring these two on a stacker this way, then I can put the 8 foundries here. And then put it on this bad boy until I can attach it to that. So I might need to raise this here so that it comes down. Or I may just run it over top of this and then it won't work that way, but we'll see. I think I need a double stacker here. Do something like place this. I guess I bring them down to feed into some splitters here, but for that I'm going to need to fit 8 foundries, which take about 1 1/4 blocks. 8, 10, 1 1/4 times 8 is exactly 10. I should be able to fit blueprints. What are you dealing with here? So splitters are on this side. One wants to go in one direction and one in the other. So I'm going to fix this. So it's going to be like... I'll line it up with the back square. Yeah, the assemblers are so much bigger. Yeah, I would do that. But then I need to rework all of this. I could do it once and then copy and paste it twice. So that's what I'll do. I've had my ice pack on long enough. Toss it into the freezer again. I'll be right back. One of the nice things about playing video games is that you can do it sitting down. And last night I made the mistake of putting heat on it instead of cold. Save that. Refinerinos. Load foundries. I want this to be aluminum ingot. I need to rework this. I need it go. I need this top part going in the opposite direction. So we're gonna have like a ton of aluminum scrap. I think it's just Mark V belts the whole way. So it's 90 and 75, so they're both... And then the output from this is 60. If I have eight of them, I have 8 foundries. 8 times 6 is 480, so this be a mark full of belts. Let's save. That does save some time. I mean, I could have just did it on the fly, but then I could undo it and redo it. Now I just need to place it and hook it up. Definitely a better proposition. I think what I was planning on doing is making that. Bacon. This should... Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Okay. That's beautiful. And now power. That's powered, that's powered. This is powered, that's powered. That's getting power from there. Everything is powered. That's powered. It's red? Oh. Oh. There we go. They all start making silica. I'm not sure what I think of this. I think here I should have replaced that with a curvy one too. But I feel like it would have clipped through this. Now we need to bring these over and oh, that's a problem. See, this belt here is screwing things up a little bit. Do I need to go up? I feel like I could bring this down to the ground. And that's coming in, then this got to come out and I got to do something with it. I'm trying to fit all of this on a postage stamp, which is the worst. So probably what I'll do is I'll bring this one out and plug it in there, and then I'll bring this one over and then down and underneath. Let's do it. Let's do it like the opposite way. this one. I want it to go in that direction. What do I want to put on that? Probably this guy. And uh, get this height right. It. Takes absolutely no time. Okay, so that's my aluminum ingots. Now, I think I need to get them. Stupidity am I doing over here? There's no sensible way to feed that in there. It's unavoidable. So I'm pretty sure this is waiting for aluminum ingots, which I think is what's coming out of that. The weird part is, because of the way they have this done now, you move it to here. Oh, this is how they make the aluminum look different from the iron ingots. They put these straps on. Once we get 3 of these, the aluminum sheets start coming out. And then the sheets what I should start seeing is this belt filling up. So these should be saturating pretty quick. So I think the So that'll saturate. This will come down this way. Feed through here. Produce. And it just sits nice and quietly on the end of this belt. Hopefully I haven't made any too ridiculous mistakes. I think I have these outputs. So all I do is I just clear the pipes. What do I need this water for? Done this, done that. Oh, okay. Water needs to go into the cooling system blend. Okay, yeah, and I have a pipe for that. Let's do the oil processing first. So I need 5 refineries that need to fit some of this oil. I think I'm bringing all of the pipes this way because all of the nitrogen needs to go to 8 blenders, which I'm probably going to put off the back of this to avoid building up, even though I probably, because of the way a lot of this crisscrosses here and here, I probably should have gone vertical. So if I was thinking in 3 dimensions, I could get more stuff to. I think what they call it is multiplex or mesh. Bring that do I have that much? I can do that. I need to bring the oil. So the nitrogen's going to have to go that way. The oil, I might need to cryuncle and do the oil processing here to make rubber, but the rubber is also going into the blender. So they're going to have the 4 refineries here and then the 8 blenders that way. So I'm just going to bring it all down to the other end. I didn't get that the right height. Should be able to do here. Get these to sit next to each other. Oh. I can run right next to one of those. That's not a problem. Little bit of clipping. Good. Okay. So I need to fit 5 refineries and 8 blenders. I could probably have the blenders end there. Like I can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7. 4. I bring the oil down into the 5 refineries here, and then I build another level and have the blenders up on that. I think I'm going to need a port, drone port. So let's bring this. So could do that along here and not make it look too weird. Okay. All right, refineries. So I'm going to need to do refinerinos. But I think I'm just going to place these because it's oil and rubber. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll run the oil up the middle and collect the rubber around the outside, I guess. We need to bring a pipe this way. Just get 6 there. Could have ran the center pipe first. Always run your pipes because it dictates where everything else is going to go, really. So if I could do this. Probably nudge this out a bit. Yeah, these are backwards. I could save myself from having to go any further and put the 5th one here. Let's do that. I'm going to have a little bit of wasted space. Am I doing this properly? I wonder. And this one will be not that one, not that one. I'm going to end up with 100 heavy oil residue that I can put into power plants that'll put up on the same level as the blenders and the yeah, 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 yeah. And I'll arbitrarily pick this one to be the 80%. Connections on this. Right there. The eye of the needle. Problem here? No power. $30,000. This is working. Oh, what? I was like, there's no way. It's impossible. All right. So I'm gonna have to take the liquid outputs from this. I think it's unavoidable. I think I need to put a little bit on the back of this. That's a healthy margin. And that is the crude and the refinery. So now, on the upper level, I need to process all this. So if I was to go up, all this to be. You know what? I wouldn't want it to go up that. That's going to be in the way if I put it there. There's nothing sensible. Ah, could do it here. Just not there. I can't gather from there, so I feel like I'm going to need to bring all of the stuff this way, so there's no sensible way to put a second level because I've made things far too dense. That'll bizarre clipping. You know what? That doesn't clip. I'll tell you why it doesn't clip. Boom. It doesn't clip. Okay. Down here. I think 4 is probably tall enough. I don't think I'm going to get lucky enough to be able to get all of these pipes to play ball. I have to do it. I have to do it here. See what it looks like. It's almost like they tried to make it work and fucking succeed. So now I just need to find, I'm not doing anything here because there's no sensible way to do that there. I may just have to do a concrete support. Well, I could definitely do it here. One, two, three, four. And you know what? I am going to do it here. Because of the way they have the bottom done, I can probably find a way to get the stuff to go through. The only thing I'm not sure about is that it's going to clip through the front of that. The way I have these loaded, it's going to clip through that anyway. What are my other options here? I have beam connector, big frame pillar. You know, this makes more sense than anything else. Why can't make these go vertical? These along here without mucking stuff up too bad. Oh, the zoop goes in 2 different directions. We're good. I'm going to move this one over, though. Whatever I do for a platform here. I can probably get a pillar in here. Kind of help this make sense. Oh, I have this on zoop. filling that in either. Just need the real estate. I think this is way too much, but those drone ports take up so much space. You can use these to kind of make the edges look better. This is just cosmetics. And all this does is kind of lend credence to the strength of this structure. It knows how to snap to itself, but it doesn't snap to other things as easily. Like if I had tried to do it from this side with this 2x2, like or 1x1. All that does is make this look cool. And I can run lights and stuff underneath here if I feel like it later. And then I'm going to run more of this girdering underneath. And then tie it into the rocks somehow, or make like big ugly legs or something. I don't know. Figure it out. So all of that under there is F-I-N-E. This will be the heatsink. This here is going to have to... I'm going to have to do something with that. I may try and double it back. Double it back this way and then rise it up through the floor. So I'm going to have to figure out the blender sitch. I'm going to need 8 of these things. I think I've already tried to put one of these together. If not, I'll make my first one. Let's just hit save. Paranoid. Have never done so. Let's look at the blueprint designer. I might be able to get 2 onto this footprint. Pretty sure it's a blender, because the blender has... leave a little extra space. probably push it back a bit. Now this, I would like this. I feel like this would have been so much easier. This produces more though. That's 24 seconds to make that. Yeah, it's like a 2 seconds per unit longer. Okay. What are the inputs here? We've got heat sinks and rubber. I guess with this footprint, I can probably just run them along the back. So if I can fit 2 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm gonna need 4 times as much. 1, 2, 4, 6. I have to put the other 2 here, and I guess I'll have... Or maybe I want to do 2 rows. We could do that. Pipes don't have a direction, so they're easy. You just, whichever way you connect it is the way the fluid flows. Okay, so I'm going to need 2 sets of pipes here. I'm going to have 8 of these, so that's going to be 600. So I need a 600 for nitrogen. For 4 of these. What's the other one? The other one is going to be 30 water, so I got 8. It's 240 water. Well, let's do the split. Nope, that's too close. That keeps the belts almost perfectly segregated. I could probably pull this up. Yeah, I can get the belts right next to each other if I do that. What do we need in here? Going to be 60 loading. That also means that if I have 8 of them, it's going to have to be a Mark II belt. So now I know where I need to put the pipes. And I'm glad I moved this out because I need that minimum clearance to get these pipes to connect properly. I'm going to use pipe stackers for this, I think. exactly know how much space we're gonna need. See what we can do here. Okay. Oh. I have seen worse. And what are you outputting? Just stuff. So if I had stuff coming in this way, I can have it going out that way. This is good. Call this one, no surprise, Blenderinos. Select an icon. Does it blend? Super green. No. Super green. Super green. Select color. Save. So I could bring everything up and put it in a big old line. I have all the nitrogen over here. I have the water. Bring the water up here. I can bring the nitrogen up here. So I can have all of my inputs along here. Let's see if I can actually get 8 of these across. I really doubt I can. I've done stupider things. Let's go right to the edge. Yeah, we don't want to. Oh, it automatically ties stuff together? Crazy. Oh, that's neat. That is very neat. You know what? I'm actually going to do that. You know, you have to hate it a little. You know, you can't love the whole thing. So my rubber and my heat sinks are here, so I can feed them in this way. I can take all my fluids from that side and feed it in here. Unless it's water, which I guess I could just do a straight shot. Yeah, I could snake it in through here and then down here and then bring it up and tie it in. That's an idea. Yep. Tidy up the far end here. I did some fishing with the scouts this week. Um, we've got one little guy. Um, I believe he may be on the spectrum, but I love watching him get excited about things. So anyway, he was so excited to learn how to cast a rod. Why did the pipes automatically connect? Is it because they were so close to the edge? The way I figure it, like I don't know what kind. I don't know what kind of normal um, you can achieve when it comes to being on the spectrum and stuff like that. So like I don't know what challenges are ahead of you, and that is there a limitation to your ability to function and achieve? I like to think there isn't. That with enough time, you would eventually absorb enough information and stuff like that that you'd find some kind of functional coffee here, some kind of level of function, and that all you really need to do is manage the time until that point. So like I like working with him. I think he's fantastic. I'm putting lipstick on this pig, I think. Let's figure out how we're going to get our inputs up here. And I do have something that can generate fuel, which means I'll sink the excess to make sure that the fuel production keeps going. And then I'll use that fuel and a packager to put it into... I have to fly... I have to... I'll have to get bottles here? Or maybe out at my fuel port, I'll set up a third drone port to bring stuff here. Maybe that's the solution. Dr. Dreads, thanks for hanging out for 5 seconds and saying nothing. Sorry it's not for you. Why is that red? Because I'm not exhausted. Is it worse? Why has my aluminum stopped again? He's not attached. Oh, no power. How do I screw this up? How is it possible that this... Oh. I think this is the 11th. Is anybody red down here? Like, apparently I've been a bit shit with power management here. Yellow, 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 green, green, yellow, green. No reds, huh? Think I've achieved it. Yep. So I can't do anything with the output from here, so the rubber is kind of... Uh, that should be a Mark II belt. Yes, yes. Might be able to do... But I need it to come out this far. And... I could put it down through the floor. I have stacked too many things. I could reverse... I could do a reversal here somewhere. Like here. Here. And then I would have the merger pointing outwards, but then I'd have to reverse those, which is not terrible. But then I could tap out from here and bring it up, like directly up. Do I want to do that? Then I can have the rubber come around, you know, snake in and around, and merge here, and then have that come in here and hit an elevator up. Yes. That's what I'm going to do. You gotta go. You gotta go. You I love heat sinks. That doesn't. No. Trying to retrofit this stuff in here is a bit of a pain in the ass. This. There we go. And then I want it dead center, just off of the. Does that connect? Yes. Dead center, just off of the. Oh, whoops. Oh, I think I was supposed to replace this one. You idiot. No one ever. Right in the smack, right in smack in the middle. Okay, heat sinks going up. This one I'll need a merger. Yeah, because I'm going to have pipes coming up out of this, I can't have belts. I can't have an elevator or anything going that way. TBD. Yeah, and for here... How many of these do you suppose I'm going to have? No. No one ever wanted it connected that way. About 100. That'll get us the rubbers. Once we got our rubbers, then we get the I'd probably elevator that up. Be close. All I need. And the rubber's up. Real problem. But I'm gonna have to pump the heavy oil residue. Don't want it to go that way. Could bring it this way and pop it up on the edge here. And bring it this way. And pop it up here. Let's assume we can do that. Lunacy. The real problem is that because I have this pipe at that level, I mean, I could do pipe stacker. Might actually be the best solution. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna get a pipe stacker here. One of these has to be the right height. It's gonna be too tight. Bring the pipe this way, and then we'll figure out what the hell we're gonna do there. I feel like I want to bring it up taller. Problem I'm going to encounter is that this I don't think I'm going to be able to get an elbow here. If I could move that in like a half smidge, I'd probably hit one of these perfectly. If I get it too close, it's not going to be able to join with that. I can bring it this way and then have it do some nasty snake. Let's, for science, that'll give us something to snap to. For this to work right, I need to get this back. It snaps for the first one, but then you're like begging to get the next one to snap. Stuff starts smoking because I'm kind of draining the pipe. I'm gonna have to put a pump here, probably. It's gonna have to be more than a Mark 10. So whatever I put a pump on, it has to be full. Because these are fine. Like what's coming out of here is enough to push it up. That should give me the head pressure that I need. I should have put it taller. Still fix it though. I run into a potential problem with let's do this. So good there. And then we do one of those there, break all of this apart. solves my clipping problem. And this here. Sweet. There we go. And that fills right up. All right, so now I need fuel production there. This is gonna. I don't think it matters. Need to connect it to them. I kind of don't want this here. Let's get rid of this. Probably didn't need to do that. And then, let's see, where can I put holes in the floor? Obviously, it's going to be someplace with girders. Unless I put them here and do something super weird with it. But it's possible that I can get the belts. I suppose I don't need this here. That's a lie. I want that. I don't want this. Can I move that at all? Yeah, I can totally bring it to the edge here. That would have been bad. Hard one to troubleshoot that. That fixes everything. You know what? I don't hate it. Nope, don't hate it. Excellent. So I'm going to need to be able to, because of the way that I did this, this may just work out for me here. Put one there. Put the other one right next to it, so I can bring him up. And all I need to do is get that over here. I would probably do this way. What should happen here, let me have connected this correctly. That should see heat sinks and rubber. This pipe, these pipes, I need to clean this up. So what I'll probably do is get rid of this. As much of a win as getting them to go through there was, this stuff didn't need to go. Do here. I need 150. This connection I don't need. I can just right in there. Let's get these up. At this point, I'm going to need to put two stackers next to each other. I think I'm only 3 high here, so I will take that one and do that with it. Here. Two. This one. This is the half. That's the halfway, right? This guy feeds directly in there. This shenanigans. a game that I haven't given an honest shake to. I played all of about 5 minutes of Skyrim. These, oh, I haven't powered them. If I want them to take stuff in, probably use. Straight out from this guy. Your clipping is happening. I know how to fix that though. No more clipping. What happens is because they're, oh, it's not powered yet. Why? Right, I just need to get the water to go in, and that can go in at either end or anywhere, really. Who's want to line up? Let's get it to line up with that perfect. So the real trick is going to be that's insane. Oh, if I get that right though, that it'll look ridiculous, but it'll work. I just need to get it two off. Still don't got it. What's happening there? I think I can make it all distance. Nope. A little humpy womp. Pumpkins. Waiting for that one. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Yeah, I'm gonna. We are blending. We haven't done is connected all this. Let me go. Huge storage container. I need to split it. So I'm going to need a smart splitter. That's 1, 2. Now, that will be any. That'll be any. And this one will be over. So then from organization, I get this. This making 6 per minute times 8 is 48. Yeah, it's basically 60. And put one of these on top. Get one of these. Now I'm getting them into storage. I'll split this and sync it for now. So I'll put awesome sync right here. Oh. So if the power is there, can I get power from the bot? Oh. That'll work. So then, I think the greatest thing they did is to not have a power consumption for this thing, because it used to. We can't just dump things into this automatically. But then, any surplus that I have coming out of here, because this is overflow, once this is full, it'll keep pumping them out this side to fill up a drone port to ship it off someplace else. I feel like I could have made this higher capacity. It's a lot of materials though. 1,200 nitrogen, that's a bit insane. This looks like scrap metal production. It's I did put a valve here, right? Yeah, that valve. This is 240. I think this isn't 2. So here's the deal. This is outputting. Okay. So it looks like my production is stopped. And this is one of those feedback loops where I have sloppy alumina feeding into, its output of water is feeding into the processing of, let's start over. So it looks like my production of aluminum has stopped. And normally what this means is that I have my sloppy alumina production here being fed into my aluminum scrap production. But because of the way the recipes work, the water coming out of the aluminum scrap is best served going back into the sloppy alumina. So you basically have this loop right here. Okay? The important part is that you have to limit the amount of water coming from your inexhaustible supply so that it always has a 240 deficit to make sure that it's exhausting the aluminum scrap properly. Okay? And the best way to do that is using a valve. I know I have 240 coming out of here, but I know each one of these takes 180. So the 240 is going to fully satisfy this one, and it's going to start to top up this one. But this one is still going to need, well, once I take the 180/60, it's going to need another 120 from over here. Right? So in order to do that, let's get rid of this, because that's stupid. And I'll leave that one there, because that's basically ensuring that water only ever flows in that direction, so that nothing feeds back into this pipe. But in order for this to be used properly, I need to make sure that the water coming off the main here doesn't go any higher than 480. So anywhere off of this, which I think is already exactly 480, but when the pipes fill, you'll end up getting more. So what I'll do is I'll put a limiter here. If I go to logistics, I'll get a valve. I want it to go in this direction. I'll set the limit to 480. And that means that beyond that point, or for the length of this entire pipe, I'm not exactly sure how the valves work in Satisfactory, but for beyond this point, for sure, I'm never going to get more flow than 480. Assuming that this never stops, which I have the sink on the end for, so it should never stop. I'll never have more than a flow of 480 coming in here, which means 180 and 180 is 360. I have the 120 left over for this guy. 240 coming out of this guy. 180 goes in here. The 60 and the 120 from this side combine for this guy. I will always have the correct amount of water between these 2 points. But in order to do that, I will flush the full network. Problem that I'm encountering right now is that my silica, for some reason... Aha! Okay, that's all I needed. See, I don't mind this filling up because this is exhausting that, but I may... Just because I know I have a surplus in there. Thing is that this should never stop now. As soon as everything ramps up, like I need a ton more scrap to go through before I start using pretty much my entire silica supply. May still have something screwed up here. So where am I processing silica? 10.67. So one of these should be on. This one is limited to 2/3, which is 50. I have a busted belt here. That should do it, maybe. Oh, he doesn't have any power. Stupid. I am concerned that something else is broken here. So we're not producing alumina solution. Silica is the problem? Do I not need all of this silica, or should I merge it at a better place? What I'm thinking is happening here is I don't have all of my aluminum picked up. What's this guy? Yeah, I'm not producing enough scrap. What I can do... 7. Water's fine. It's not getting enough alumina solution. Do I not have these hooked up right? That's the real question. Oh, are you kidding me? No, it comes up this way. I've got a shitty piece of belt in here somewhere. What are you? You're Mark 3. You- I may need to put a I may need to put a sink here to handle the overflow, just so that this never gets backed up. It never should, honestly. In theory, I could literally put the overflow anywhere. And I have empty space here. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to put a smooth splitter. And this should be anything out the left and overflow out the front. But an awesome sink. Right. Yeah. I'll hook up power to it. So, yeah, I don't. Oh. Yeah. Rid of that nasty clipping. So the net benefit should be that I should see a steady stream of that crap. These should be putting out 360, should be 720. This belt should be pretty much full all the time. Water is exhausting, exactly as I planned. Even though I don't need to. Read this anyway. Read this to Mark 4 probably. It's already 5. In theory, this shouldn't be more than 200, but I'm shoehorning it in there as fast as I can. I should, in theory, be merging it further up. That's closer to the amount of scrap that I would expect to see. Basically, these should never stop smoking. Oh, Swan. So what should happen is that these should start smoking constantly, but they don't seem to want to. Could be sloshing in these pipes. And the best thing to do is to say, go that way and never come back. These all facing in the correct direction. What's the problem here now? Do these not have enough water to constantly keep going? You're full, you're full, you're full, you're full, you're too full. I mean, that's the production that I'm expecting. Shouldn't be any sloshing at this point. So a lot of people complain about the does it fill up again that quick? They never should. That at 480. So I can do some shenanigans where I say I don't want any more than 120 going in this direction. And then them, I don't care. They can fill that shit. It's just all of the valving here is to keep the fluid going this way and only allowing a certain amount to go this way. So maybe I don't need to limit it here. Because as long as where the two meet, I'm doing the limits correctly, then this guy should never have... These should never... Yeah. Yeah. So that's exactly what you want to see. So now I'm at maximum production. Similarly over here. Should be exactly exhausting all of my alumina solution. What I should see is more or less a steady flow of this at a 3-belt rate. I'm doing it higher because I'm just trying to exhaust it right now. I think I may rearrange this. I want it to merge right... Oh, shit. Yeah, I never hooked that back up yet. That's the overflow, and that should be any. So that should pretty much be steady now. I guess what I want here is maybe if I merge this a little closer to the end. Let's do that. This is going to take a bit of shenanigans because I want to hook this up pretty much as soon as I can. Conveyor belt is just a smidge too long. I want to get something the right height to match this. It's going to be a pain in the ass. don't know why they allow this to happen. I know it's primarily due to that just seemed like a stupid idea, um, but I was too stupid to see that it was stupid. I'm just gonna get rid of this because it's ugly. Now I don't need to worry about belts getting saturated. Theoretically, theoretically, I can put this all back to 3. Should be a lot more of this coming out. Bit of an art. Bit of an art to this. In theory, I should have poked it this way and had it juke over it right at the end. Probably still could. At least then I could have lined it up with this. It would have looked a little bit more natural. Why are my sheets not getting used? Am I overproducing sheets or something? There's no way. Uh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not producing. I think I need to temporarily sync some stuff. Why do I have heat sinks stuck on a belt here somewhere? Did I screw this up? Oh, I think I totally did. That's why this isn't. That fixes that. Why am I not making oh? Because I have to start fuel production. Um, Just gonna have to basically dump that every now and then. 20, it's 80, 96. Production. You diluted fuel, but I need to provide bottled water. I think I'm fine with residual fuel. Overclock. Probably better if I get to and underclock them. So if you're 60, 96, 45, 348. 48 is 80%. I work with a lot of 2's complement numbers, so 6's and 8's and 16's and 2's and everything. It just makes sense to me, man. All right, that'll exhaust the heavy. Just bring that across here. I'll need power. I already brought power. Power's on that side. Yeah. Probably is better if I just bring it up here. So then this is outputting 64 fuel. And for now I can put 4 generators just to keep this going till I figure out my production electricity. Generator. So I think they each want production. Logistics. Okay, I'm gonna have to run out and grab hot dogs. Hot dog buns. We don't have anything to make burgers with. I don't know if she thought of that. It's not really up to her. But we don't have meat for burgers. Blame me. So I can reduce these to 16. Oh, 32? Yeah. That makes sense. So I have these clocked reasonably accurate. The important part is that it keeps draining this. So as long as the fuel doesn't build up, then my production isn't affected because I keep draining that as fast as I can. So everything here should be running tip top. And that's it. All roads lead to a sink or filling up storage, and this byproduct here, which was going to be a problem, is being sunk into power. That may or may not work all the time, I don't care. The issue that I think I'm having here is that I don't know how many copper sheets am I supposed to be making? 288. That's on a Mark IV belt, but I mean, this should still be moving pretty much all the time. But a Mark IV belt is 480, which is about 200, maybe 40% faster than what this needs. What we need is more statistics. I think you can bring up a production thing. What are you low on? I am not producing enough aluminum sheets. Is that because these are still filling up? Oh, that is painfully slow. Here's 163. If the next time it resets, it's 163, we've got a problem. It's just going to take a ridiculously long time to fill up. I'm not too worried about the copper production because there's no liquid involved. Like, it's not steamed. I'm making 288. That's 10. One of these should be at 80%. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And this guy... Normally it's either the first or the last that I... Now, if I'm not mistaken, these copper bars, once they're finished there, are supposed to come around and be involved in the aluminum sheet production. Copper's not the problem. The aluminum seems very light, but then we're back to trying to get to saturation. Is okay. It just really comes down to these. We have so many of these coming that, like, let's have a look here. Is there anything slowing this down? Not enough scrap. How are we doing for saturation here? It's slow going. That's because aluminum scrap stacks to like 500. I mean, this is basically the way that it should look constantly. It seems to be slowing down again. Water's not being output. Oh, let's do sanity check. 240 minus 180 is 60. Yeah. Oh, I'm... That's supposed to be over here. That's it. Now this should be pretty much only a teeny tiny little gap every now and then. And this should not stop. I got smart. SMRT. Okay. Here we go. So I am required to set up one of the feedback formulas. It'll be this one here, where I have a process that is processing something using water and then is producing an output that is sent to secondary processing, which outputs water, which is then a factor of the first process. First, second, right? So basically how this works is I have my bauxite. Let's just get this in the right orientation here. Let's do it this way. This is the easiest way to look at it. So I'm mining my bauxite. I'm sending 480 water into it, but this particular formula requires 700. Okay, so 700. I'm not doing that. 720. 720 water, but I'm only supplying it with 480, which means that I need another 240, which I actually get from a downstream process. Okay. The problem here is that because it's the output of this, I need to make sure that this never gets backed up. Otherwise, this production stops, which means that I don't get any more aluminum scrap, and that part of my process starts to break down. Similarly, I can't have the silica back up here because I'm not producing the alumina solution, and I won't get aluminum scrap. To make sure that I'm using the exact amount of water coming out of here so that I'm always exhausting what's being produced here, saving myself from interruption, and making sure that I can feed it back in here, I'll have to use valves. So what I've done here, these are my, this is the first 4 that are processing the bauxite with water. And out the back, it is producing silica, which I'm exhausting adequately here. You can see the gaps in the belt. And the alumina solution, which is feeding into these 2, which are producing aluminum scrap. Okay? To make sure that none of the fluid that's in this pipe here backs up, then I've put valves here to ensure that the fluid only flows in this direction. You don't get any of that sloshing back into this pipe, causing this to block, and then even a minute interruption in this can cause transients through your whole processing. So you don't want that. This will always make sure that fluid is exhausting this pipe into here, rain or shine. So I put one on each of these to make sure that this pipe is as full as possible. Then I put another one here to make sure that nothing in this area can flow back into this pipe, so that the fluid is always coming in here and making sure that these 2 pipes are maximally full all the time. See? So they almost, I mean, it's an equal consumption, so I don't think it'll ever get up to 50, because this will never get interrupted now. On the output of the scrap processing, I now have 240 water as an output. The problem is that I can't have this backing up, or this stops production. And if that stops production, then I end up with all kinds of nightmares back there. So these 6 things should be smoking constantly. That's the goal. Now, the trick is, how do I make sure that I'm using all 240 of this every minute? Well, first things first, I put in my check valve to make sure that none of the fluid in this pipe ever re-enters this pipe and comes back here. Fluid in this direction only. At this point, I put a second one here to make sure that any of the fluid in this pipe and this pipe doesn't flow back into here. It always goes in this direction. So I'm getting the full 240 at this point. Okay, I know this one here is going to consume 180 per minute. So what I have left here is 60, which is going into this. But this also requires 180. So I have a deficit of 120 here. How do I ensure that this actually works now? I don't want any excess water coming in here because it will starve this pipe, which means that I'm leaving stuff in this pipe, and this will cause this to back up and ruin my production. So I have valve to make sure everything flows this way, valve to make sure that everything flows this way. I will have a net of 60 here into this, actually it's 180 into this one, a net of 60 into this guy. So I put a valve here, and I put a limit on it of exactly 120. So no more than 120 will ever exit this pipe. which means if I only have 120, this will always need the 60, this will always need the 180, and I will always exhaust my 240. So these 4 are locked in right now. I don't need to put any limitations downstream because I don't care if this pipe fills up and backs up. It's only an input. Okay? And that's how you do it. This is perfect secular production with the valves in the correct places to make sure that I can always drain my outputs and I don't have any interruptions to my my production. And that's it. My old brain. All right. So I think this is ticking along ASAP. The other mistake that I made when I was setting this up is I was actually bringing this over and putting it in at the end here. If this is part of a process that cannot back up, then you should be trying to exhaust it as early as possible. So right here where I have it being consumed, I want to make sure that it's one of the first things considered. For the purposes of never letting this stop, I have a small overflow here that goes into a sink to make sure that this belt never stops. Sorry, to make sure that this belt never stops. I have production coming down through here, which is supposed to be the main production, but will also be the surplus. I want all of this used before any of this gets used. So what I could do here is put in a programmable... That's not what I wanted. A programmable splitter or a programmable merger. Yeah, so that's for smart parts. So as it appears here, I am generating a surplus of silica. Why is that? Do I have... This should be... Should be a 5. Also be a 5. That's a 5, 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 that's a 5. Interesting. The problem that I'm more than likely encountering here is that aluminum scrap has stacks of 500, and I should be producing far above that. So what I'm waiting for now is for these to saturate. So this will eventually cap out at 500, and then this guy will start to fill up. We're all pretty much in lockstep. The problem happens down here where... Yeah, one of these is probably getting starved. Hey, puppy, do you want to go out? Do you want to go outside? Alright, I think I'm going to call it here. This was a job well done. Even if I do say so myself. I am gloriously producing cooling units. And I have them maxed out. And I will catch you next time.